Hi guys, it's me Anais. So today I thought that I would share a few of my favorite romance novelists with you because a lot of the time my writing is gloom and doom and I read a lot of gloom and doom, and so it's nice to balance it out with stories that make you feel good and that you guarantee that no matter how awful everything is, that it's going to be okay in the end. So my favorite romance novelist is Jane Ann Krentz. Love her. I have read pretty much everything by her that I can get my hands on. She has several different pen names, so the Jane Ann Krentz is like the contemporary stuff, which is suspenseful, and then there is Amanda Quick, which is her kind of Victorian era stuff, and also suspense. She does a lot of romantic suspense, which is my favorite brand of romance, is the romantic suspense. Oops. And then she has Jane Castle, which is futuristic. I actually have, bam! I actually have one of the Jane Castle books right here. Ta-da! And so, I mean, it's kind of neat. She has different pen names for each kind of time period that she writes in, past, present, and future. And I like them all, so that's why she is my favorite. And she always writes characters that have problems, you know? Like they feel like they're unlovable, or they have some kind of past that is keeping them down, trust issues, something. And then by trusting each other, they heal themselves, and then they heal each other, and they solve the mystery, and they're together in the end. And so for me, I always really enjoy seeing that process of, you know, basically being patted and told, you are worth loving, you are worth loving, you are worth loving. And so that's why she's my favorite. The next is Christina Dodd, and an interesting thing about Jane Ann Krentz and Christina Dodd is that they're good friends in real life. So good writers bond together, I guess. So Christina Dodd, she writes different time frames too. Most of the stuff that I've read from her is the present contemporary stuff. And the thing that she does really well is focuses on families. So like really dark family secrets. She's really good at showing throughout a series. I just read one of her series where it showed how 3 kids who were from the same family and they got adopted out to different, or it was 4 kids actually, they got adopted out to different families or sent to foster care or whatever, and they each had their own very separate way of dealing with that, and then how they all not only got with significant others because it's a romance novel, but they also found each other and were able to work through that. And that is something that is pretty impressive to me, to show all of these little intricate things and how one event can affect so many people differently, very differently. So I like Christina Dodd for that. She's very good at taking little threads and tying them together and making me go, that's pretty good. But they're also, that's the writer side of me that does that. But the reader side just really enjoys a good story. Okay, next up, Ava Lee. Ava Lee, and with her, the first thing that I'm going to say is that she is unrepentant in her sexuality, which I really, 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 really appreciate. I hate reading something where it seems like the person who wrote it is feeling ashamed of what they're writing. And this goes for everybody on my list, is unrepentant, but Ava Lee kicks it up a notch, and she is so sensual and just, and she just, that's just what she's gonna do. She's gonna write it, and it's gonna be very matter of fact that this is the thing that's happening, and I like that. I like that there isn't all of this weird guilt tripping and shame around it. It's just very, I don't know. I hate to say the word real out of a romance novel where it's definitely highly fictionalized and like the version of what you wish your every sexual encounter was going to be. But anyway, she is really good at that. I appreciate it. And she's also good at the emotional side of things. Of the one that I just read, from Duke Till Dawn, she had a character who was totally screwed over by the person that raised her, and she had to deal with that person before, you know, she really was with the guy that she's going to end up with. And the way that she dealt with that, I really appreciated a lot. I don't want to give it away because it kind of spoils stuff if I do, but it was really affirming to have somebody deal with it the way that she did, and I was very appreciative. But the main thing with Ava Lee, whenever I think of her, is that she is just going to write that scene, and she is not going to give two screws what anybody thinks about it. I didn't know what to say there, but she just is gonna say it, and I really, really, really appreciate that. It makes me feel really good when I see somebody just go for it. Okay, so the next person is Mary Burton, and Mary Burton is different because she isn't focused as much on sensuality. Like if I was going to put Ava Lee on one side and Mary Burton on the other, they'd be like way on the other side, and then Jane and Christina are closer to Ava. But Mary Burton writes contemporary romance that is so much like watching Criminal Minds or any kind of detective police procedural that it's not really, it's the romance isn't as big for me when I'm reading it as the mystery that she has, the crime that she's solving. But I still thoroughly enjoy it, and I look forward to it whenever I see, oh, Mary Burton's gonna have a new book out, awesome, because she does bring them together in a good way. It's just not that it's not as emotional. I don't know that. Yeah, that's a good way, because they're so focused on defeating a serial killer or whatever. They're not as, they kind of just come together naturally. I don't know, but I do like her stories a lot. They're very tense and suspenseful, and usually they're on a time limit. Like they'll be 24 hours, and the race to save somebody is very quick. So I like that. Next person is Carla Neggers, and so she is kind of on her own little corner if I'm going to put these people on a spectrum. She writes contemporary, and usually most of the stuff, like all of these people, have some kind of a suspense, something that's going on that, but hers is more like internal suspense. I don't know if that makes, yeah, like an internal problem. She's kind of the oddball out for me because she writes a lot of kind of heartwarming small town stuff, which normally with any, like a lot of people who are like, I would not pick that up. Just, I don't like to read about small towns generally. I'm sorry, I don't like it. Usually I'm a horrible person. But when she writes it, and the characters that she writes seem so interesting, and I just like it. And I like, you know, the whole family setup, everything. Like she has their mom and their dad and their issues, and you know, all their family issues, the community's issues. So and it's all very, it seems a lot sweeter than maybe some, like Mary Burton. Mary Burton is not sweet, and Carla Neggers is sweet, but I like them both. I like them both for very different moods. But hey, I've read both of them back to back just gone through the book, so whatever. Anyway, so those are 5 of my top romance writers that I love to read. When I see a book coming out by them, it is a good day for me. So I am going to finish my tea. I hope that you have tea too, and I'll talk to you next time. Goodbye.